Good morning. We live in a world today where everything could be faked or fixed. Eye color can be changed, noses can be lifted, varicose veins can be removed, stomachs can be tightened, and even cellulites can be lasered away, apparently. But why do we do all these things? Because that's what we're told to do, which is to alter ourselves in order to be beautiful. For the past 2 years, I've been trying to quietly navigate my fluctuating weight, and I often get criticized by people for even having to talk about my body. I understand how it seems inappropriate now for someone who is an average size to even talk about their body and weight gain. But my point is that 2 years ago, I looked like this and this. And also, 2 years ago, I didn't think anything was wrong with my body. Looking back at these photos now, I realized that I never really actually worried about my size. I was confident I would literally wear anything that I would feel good with myself in, and I thought I was the bomb. That was until I realized that I live in a society that rewards and praises other people for having a smaller waist than I will ever have. I've been bullied. I've been called many sorts of names, and they all targeted one thing: my appearance. That includes my body shape, my hair, my skin color, my breast size, my height, my weight. That sometimes I even get shy to have another person look at the weighing scale whenever I weigh in. And it felt unfair to feel like I will never have a society perfect body just because I wasn't genetically built a certain way. So sadly, I let the public eye judge the way I look. I let the opinions and criticisms affect the decisions that I make for myself. And I know that it's sad that that is the reason for my weight loss. I know the reason for my weight loss isn't the best reason out there, but I realize that now. I was toxic to myself, and it wasn't mentally healthy for me. But I need you to realize that I love the routine that I was doing back then. My weight loss, it wasn't the actual routine that made it really hard for me. What made it hard for me was the criticisms that I get along the way from people who do not even know what was happening to me. So that's just a little background about myself so you would have an idea of where I was coming from. Fast forward, my body reached a certain size, and I was thankful for being able to get through all those hurdles in my life. Thankful for the people who supported me, my family, my friends, and I was grateful for the results that I got for myself. But at the same time, I acquired this strange need to have to stand up for the people who are being so harshly criticized by others. And more ironic thing is that I felt like I've become more sensitive about the comments and opinions of other people and what they have to say about my body image. I'll tell you why. I've met multiple beautiful girls slimmer than I am telling me they needed to lose weight. So I've become hyper aware of my changing body, that I would literally see the smallest of details in my body in the photos and wondered if anyone else was noticing. Because yes, my weight loss gave me more confidence for myself, but it also gave me this strange constant struggle of having to live up to the expectations of the appearance that I have already established to the world. Because I didn't want people to think that I was catfishing them with my appearance, when the truth is, my body changed, and it's still changing, and it will be forever changing. So I often find myself looking at my reflection in the mirror, sometimes thinking, okay, you're being a little too hard on yourself right now, you're still the same size, everything's fine, girl, move on. So I would go away and go back to work, and then after several hours, I will go back to my reflection and see that my stomach looks completely different. And I will think to myself, was my reflection playing tricks on me? Is this body dysmorphia, or is this something normal for women that nobody really talks about? Because how strange it is for my body to look so differently over the course of one day, and why do I feel like I need to be apologetic about it? Because let's be honest, if somebody is to point out the slightest of difference in a girl's body, our initial response would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't usually look like this, or I'm sorry, I just gained a little weight recently. Because nobody deserves to be feeling like they have to be apologetic of not being able to having to live to the standard that these humans are keep on imposing to us. Because how ridiculous it is for even us to think that we need to explain the nature of our own bodies to other people. The answer is simple. We didn't want to be judged. That's why we need to keep an open mind that judgment and criticisms have always been part of everything. The only difference now is that everyone could be a critic and everyone could publicly criticize you with just one hit of a button without you even knowing that you're being criticized. It would be a cliche if I say that everything begins within ourselves. But it does. Everything that we see around us isn't actually how it really is, but it's rather a reflection of how we see ourselves, of what we are, of what we know, and how we think. That is why I think some people are being too harsh in judging someone. Let me give you another example. When I was around 12 to 16 years old, I would look at the magazines in the counter by the cash out lane in the grocery store, and I would look at the headlines saying, her real body exposed, or I would literally search the internet for photos of celebrities with bare faces, like no makeup, because I wanted to see, obviously, I wanted to see what's underneath. And now that I've grown up, I feel ashamed. I feel ridiculous for having to do that. Because now that I accept my own flaws, and now that I am fully aware of the feeling that I get whenever another person only sees me by my flaws, I assess myself how harsh of a human being I am if this would be the exact feeling that I would be giving off to someone who is just as insecure as I am. Everybody wants to see imperfections from another person or find satisfaction in seeing them, because we want to see glimpses of our own insecurities from them so that we would feel that we're not the only ones. Having that in mind, how would you feel about people who makes careless comments on someone? People who finds physical imperfections funny, or more so, people who makes profits out of it. From a young age, we've been manipulated by multiple sorts of media, internet, movies, television, magazines, newspapers, into thinking that we need to be embarrassed of certain parts of ourselves. When you really think about it, nobody is really born with these insecurities. We're rather told to be ashamed of some parts of ourselves. The world is not going to reform tomorrow. I know that. And there is no easy fix for the ideals for women that existed for hundreds of years. And certainly we should not take away the gratification of the filters provided these people who are people who are still finding a stable ground for themselves, stable ground for self-love. So with all that said, we're only left with the only option that we have, which is to start making changes within ourselves. I encourage you to support this movement by allowing yourself to be vulnerably strong, allowing yourself to be not having to be perfect all the time. Also, I want you to be a little kinder to yourself so that you would be kinder to other people. Everybody needs it now. I know there are days where we would feel strong and confident within our own skin, and there's just the other times where we would feel not very much ourselves, and we're stuck into this rabbit hole of criticisms and judgments of other people who don't even care about how we feel. So how do I make every day be one of those days where I feel invincible? Sadly, there is no step-by-step fine print, but I will tell you what I do. Just be unapologetically yourself. Take time to learn every part of yourself and learn to accept, love, and respect it. Because you cannot expect other people to love and respect you if you cannot give that to yourself first. Again, love and respect each part of yourself, even the imperfections, especially the imperfections. If you're still having time having to accept certain parts of yourself for how it is now, then I suggest you to start deciding by making a healthy change for yourself. I do not guarantee it to be easy. Sometimes way to self-love is anything but easy. But I'm telling you, it will be worth it. And I want you to not make the same mistakes that I did. If you're going to do it for yourself, if you're planning to make your physical appearance better, make sure that you're doing it for yourself. Do not make the same mistakes that I did. Do not do it just to live by all these standards that they keep on imposing to us. Do it so that you would grow. Do it to be healthier. Do it for your own happiness. Be so confident about yourself that you would find beauty from another person without having to question your own. You can be absolutely beautiful with scars, with acne, with white hair, with wiggly bellies, with cellulite and varicose veins. I'm telling you this now, and do not forget this. You are beautiful. I'm Coleen Sarion, industrial engineering student, and I'm telling you that you're born to do bigger and greater things in life. Thank you. If you got all the way through here, I would like to thank you. Obviously, this is just a school requirement, but I kind of took it a little seriously, and the topic that I chose is very personal and very close to my heart. If you think that the content of this video is beneficial for many people who are struggling with insecurities and self-love, then you can share this. If you don't want that, then that's okay. I just hope that the message of this video is clear enough for you, but if you did, just so you know that I really appreciate it very much. Thank you.